Hello everybody that's watching this. Hello. I hope you are well. Hello everybody that's tuning in later on. Hello everybody that is joining us. I just want to say a massive hello, and I'm super excited about today's session. Everybody that's joining us on LinkedIn audio lives, Tony, Shirley, Wendy, KJ. It's lovely to see you here. Everybody that's watching us on all the different channels, such as YouTube and, of course, the LinkedIn Live. Hello. Now, today we are talking about how to build a profitable speaking career. I'm super excited about that. And if you want to, of course, know more, watch a lot of these, of course, look at my profiles on the various channels. If you're joining on LinkedIn, just check out my profile. I don't want to spend too much time talking about myself. So do check me out. And if you're not already following, follow me. Make sure that, of course, in due time, if this fits you, reach out. If there's any way we can support you, if there's any way we can help you, do reach out. I will be opening up to Q&A to anyone listening to the LinkedIn audio. So do make sure if you have a question, put your hand up, join us on stage. And of course, if you're watching on any other channel, just drop me a comment and I will reply later. So today's all about how to build a profitable speaking career, right? And why is that so important in today's day and age, right? I think, and I know over the last few years that speaking has become an essential part of your marketing, right? If you're a brand, your company, if you are working as on behalf of a company, if you have a message, if you stand for something, if you want to impact industries, of course, if you're a coach, trainer, consultant, author, anything that has an important message to convey, speaking is a massive part of that. And if you're not integrating speaking already, which I know some of you are, because I know some of you from LinkedIn and various other channels, then you are actually missing out on a massive opportunity to hit many at once, right? Now, of course, to do it right, do it in a way that's impactful, to do it in a way that represents your brand. That's key. Thank you for the love, people. And that's what I want to go through today. I think there's some key components, some key tweaks that if you all did, that could massively accelerate your speaking career, right? So everybody listening, everybody watching on replay, this is really important. So I've actually divided this session into 3 parts: positioning, marketing, and delivery, because I think you cannot be one without the other. They're all equally important. And what I find is a lot of speakers can be really good at marketing, but not great speakers, or there's a lot of great speakers, they're terrible at marketing, right? And also there's a key element of positioning that a lot of speakers miss out on. Now, this is about being profitable, right? And I think what's really important that we think about the return on investment with return on engagement when we're speaking. And a lot of speakers, because they're passionate about what they do, because they really love what they do, they don't think profit. Now, this isn't to think profit first. I'm not telling you to go and charge £1 million, although that'd be nice if you got paid that, right? What I want you to consider is all the elements that help make you a profitable speaker, which means for a lot of speakers, developing a commercial brain, understanding the value you bring to the table and how to charge for that. And I really want you to understand that, because, I did a post about this recently on LinkedIn. If you go through my profile, you'll see when I talked about the difference between truly a professional speaker and a speaker that's more of a hobbyist. Now, neither is right or wrong, but the professional speaker truly understand the commercial value. Therefore, they're able to articulate and have the money conversations. While a hobbyist loves speaking, so they'll jump on any stage and they want to add value, and there's no intent there to actually monetize it, or they don't do it very well. So again, if you want to read that, scroll down on my profile, you'll see I talked about that. I think that's really important, because I come across a lot of people who want to work with me, who want to do stuff with me, and I find they're still at the hobbyist side of wanting to speak. It's something they love to do, but really struggle with the commercialization. And that's what I help them do. But still, a lot of them won't put the time needed to become a professionally paid speaker, and they won't build a profitable speaking career. So let me go through some of these points. And of course, if you want these points one by one, just drop me a message and I'll email them across to you, because they are notes. I've taken notes and I will share them with you. No problem. Just send me a message and I'll send them to you. So let's talk about positioning first, right? As a speaker, you have to really think, right, how you define yourself that makes you different. Okay, this is a massive part. So I'll look at a lot of speakers' titles, right? And I'll see motivational speaker, inspirational speaker, public speaker. That really doesn't tell me anything what kind of speaker you are. So actually defining yourself how you're different is a massive part of it. Now, of course, there's a chance that we're all borrowing information and content from each other, right? We've all heard something somewhere, unless you're so unique, which is great, by the way, then it's easy to position you. So I think today use this as a reflective opportunity to think, are you positioning in a way that makes you different, right? The sales doctor, the divorce doctor, right? These are all speakers I know of that have a different positioning because they use divorce or sales, right? I use Be More Giraffe. I'm one of the other speakers I work with, 10% braver. So, what is it that makes you different? Your unique perspective, your unique experience, your unique skill set, your unique service. And then it's about the packaging. How you package that is essential, right? It's like anything to get you to stand out, to be booked, right? To be bought. If you think like when we go to the supermarket, you have 0.3 per seconds for a product to catch your eye because it's so busy, right? I've worked with people that develop products for supermarkets. That's how I know that stat. It's not too dissimilar right now when people are scrolling looking for speakers, right? So part of your packaging, and we'll talk about that a bit when it comes to marketing, is important, but also your positioning is so important. So what makes you different, unique? What is it you bring to the table that other speakers don't? And that's the beginning of becoming profitable and becoming commercialized, because then you have something that no one else has. Let's say, if you're a coach in the room and you empower people to have better lives, if your positioning is that, then what happens is you'll be chosen on price, because there's so many other coaches that are saying the same thing, that they'll literally go, how much do you charge? Okay, how much do you charge? Okay, how much do you charge? That's what will happen. I.e., but if you have a different positioning completely, or a different way of packaging that, then now you become really attractive. You become something that people want. Oh, that's different. That's new. I like that. And of course, relationship building is a massive part of that as well, right? So that's what I want to start with. Now, the other thing, of course, is, and I talk about this time and time again when I do these, and I do these every 2 weeks again. So if you want to find out more, make sure you're following me and you're friends with me, and so because I do these every 2 weeks, is I talk about the importance of truly understanding who your audience is. And this is a challenge for a lot of speakers, right? Because speakers want to speak, period, right? I'm a speaker. I love speaking. But knowing the audience, the right audience to speak in front of, again, is what makes you highly commercial. If you're going to go wide, it's very hard to position you. It's very hard to go, right, you should speak, right, I'm speaking in front of this audience. It's okay to go thin and deep, by the way, and it's okay to go for a small market that's potentially very lucrative. But I think a lot of speakers try to be too much to too many audiences, and therefore it becomes a price thing versus, oh, they're so unique. They climb Mount Everest with their hands tied behind their back. That's a unique experience. I want to book you and hear about that. I want you to really think about this stuff. So really understanding who your audience is another step towards a profitable speaking career. And by the way, it's okay to go for one speaking audience and then expand out. But too many people go out first and try to expand in. I would get really niched in, really focused on a type of audience that you can serve, get results for, and empower with your speaking and educate with your speaking in a way that's truly going to create that profitability as a speaker. And don't shy away from the money conversations, and we'll come to that in a minute, okay? The other part I want to get into briefly is creating a unique brand. And again, this is where speakers can get it wrong or don't quite get it right, is you need to think of yourself as a speaker as a brand in itself. So Elliot K speaking, elliotk.com, I'm a brand within myself. Elliot K is a brand. Yes, I have Speaker Express. I've got the Speaker Awards. There's a lot of other brands that I work with and I build as part of my business, but I am a brand in myself. So what do I stand for, right? What do people say about me when I'm not in the room? That's a sign of a brand, right? What's our messaging? What's our look, our style? All these things are really important when it comes to you getting a commercial aspect, becoming a profitable speaker, right? Because again, if you're a brand, it means you're bigger than you are. And I remember speaking to a speaker in America who charges $250,000 per talk. And we asked him, what's the difference between someone that charges $1,000, $10,000, or $250,000? And he came back with the strength of a brand, right? If your brand has strength, you as a speaker stand for something bigger, and you can see it through the following, through the assets, through everything you put out there. Again, that's what helps your profitability, your commercialization as a speaker. A lot of people go, hey, I speak. What do you speak? I speak about this. And they're very kind of, I don't want to, I'm looking for the term here. They're very, they're just them, right? And not to take away from you being you, but you're not a brand, right? And therefore you don't stand, and then you're easily forgotten, you're easily scrolled past, and you're easily, not chosen over those who are a brand. So what can you do today to start to build your speaking brand? And the other thing, by the way, when you build a strong speaking brand, it will transmit commerciability. Oh, look at that brand. They're a great brand. Oh, I bet they charge a lot. I bet they're expensive. Let me find out. Please understand that as speakers, we have a responsibility, right? We have a responsibility not only to our audience, but we have a responsibility to ourselves, right? If we're going to pour our heart and soul into educating, empowering, inspiring audience globally, we should be rewarded for that, okay? There's various ways to do it, but you've got to think about that as well. Not just, oh my God, I'm so grateful they're giving me a stage. Yes, be grateful they're giving you a stage, but how do you commercialize that? And one of the key ways to commercialize that to be profitable is to really think as a brand. Okay. By the way, if you're sending me messages stuff, I'm actually not looking at anything besides you. So I might respond if there's any messages or you're commenting. So please be patient, right? And the other thing I want you to really, when it comes down to niching and it comes down to identifying unique value and understanding your audience, is to make sure where you speak, right? Let's talk about that for a second. So ensure that you're speaking at the right events, at the right conferences, for the right companies. Of course, when you're starting out, the tendency is to get as much as you can, right? Get speaking, do that. And I encourage that, to get the hours in, to get the time in. So, and to build your testimonials and your videos and things like that. Again, that same speaker I spoke to told me he did 250 speaking gigs without getting paid before he started charges, because he felt that will get him to the level to really command a fee that he wanted to command, right? So it's also important that you're speaking in the right places. Yeah. There's no point you as a, let's say, leadership expert going to speak at Xero's latest accounting software launches unless you're brought in to talk about leadership within Xero. It's really also understanding where is your audience. I have literally turned down speaking opportunities this year because they're not the right audience. I've been approached. In fact, I even a week before, when I did more investigation, it's like, no, I'm not driving that way to speak for half an hour, because it was the wrong audience, right? When I don't mind driving for 4 hours to speak for half an hour if it's the right audience. I did that recently when I went to Sheffield, right? Literally drove, woke up 4 o'clock in the morning, drove, did the talk, came back. That's okay. That's the life of the speaker if it's the right audience. So also think about this. Are you aligning your events, right? Are you aligning your events with speaking, or are you just going, yes, I'll speak anywhere, right? Just really think about that. So that's the positioning aspects. Again, I have all these written out. If anybody wants them to send me a message, I will send you all these notes as well. Whatever platform you're listening to them and watching this on. Okay. We have a question. Give me 1 second. All right. I will give you the stage. You can speak, but just let me go through some more points and then I'll open up to questions. So thank you very much for joining me. Just stay there for a second. Thank you for that love. And of course, if you do any question, put them in the comments, wherever platform you're watching this on or listening to this on. I will come back to it as well. So I just want to delve into marketing a bit. Then I'll open up to Q&As as well. And also, if you like what you're hearing here, we are offering audits. So if anyone wants an audit on their talks or their social media assets, there's a little link in the comments for this event. Click on it, explains everything and how to book as well. So we talked about positioning, right? Are you guys okay? Show me some love. Give me some hearts. Give me thumbs up, or stuff like that. Let me see the people in LinkedIn audio that you're getting some value here. Yay, loads of hearts. And of course, if you're watching this on other platform, just send me some love. I do need some love too. Right. And by the way, can I just say very quickly, I'm so glad I booked this LinkedIn live, audio live, because right now on Friday, we have the Speaker Awards. And that's 130 people we're sitting down to give awards to. And it's been quite stressful. So this is such a relief. So thank you all for showing up. I appreciate you all for showing up and listening to this, because this has been a welcome break for me from everything else that's going on before Friday. let's talk marketing for a little bit, right? So, marketing for speakers, we talked about branding. Marketing for speakers, again, this is why it all goes hand in hand. If you shortcut on your marketing, if your marketing looks cheap, then people will pick that up. Those who know will pick that up, right? They will see, oh, this like, you develop an eye for like show reels that are done on Fiverr or done cheaply or have cut corners. So you really need to think of your marketing assets, right? When you're a speaker, as your showroom, as your front window to get people in. And shortcutting on them is one of the worst things you can do. And I know sometimes it can be expensive. I get that. So, yes, be cost effective, but don't shortcut on them. So, your show reel is your commercial, your website is your shop, right? All the images, the kind of font, the logo, everything has to transmit that you are a professional speaker. And if it doesn't, then people skim on, or people will come in with a very low fee and they just won't want to pay you because it doesn't look the right fit, right? So I want to talk about it because that's so important. So your digital portfolio, right, consists of website, images, videos, testimonials, right? Where you're potentially speaking, there's your one pager as well. Your one pages are really important because that's something you post to people. But more importantly, if you want to build a profitable speaking career, people need to see you speak. One of the first things they need to be able to do is see you speak. So, video footage or videos of you speaking, even if they're not on a platform or you're not on stage yet, but people need to get a feel for you. If they can't see you speak, how are they going to book you to speak if there's no evidence of you speaking? So, really think of that marketing aspect of you as a speaker. Now, a lot of you are bolting on speaking. I get that as part of your journey, and you do other stuff and you speak. I understand that. So when you're sitting down to strategize, you've got to integrate speaking as part of this because it's one of the most effective tools you'll ever use. Okay. So just wanted to put that. I'll do a couple more and then I'm going to come to Shavinkar. Is that right? I'm going to come to you in a minute. All right. I hope I've said your name properly. Apologize if I haven't. um I'm doing my best here. Work with me. Work with me. Fantastic. We'll take your question in a minute. Right. So, talked a little bit the marketing assets, and of course, don't shortcut those. Make sure they represent you in the right light. They are representation of you as a speaker, as a brand, and of course, your fee. Right. The other thing I want to talk about is, of course, social media. We cannot get away from that. I mean, maybe some people can, but most people can't. Here's what I'm going to say about social media. Whatever you do with social media, be consistent and make sure it's reflective of your brand, right? I think a lot of speakers or people think that they have to do LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, What I would say is choose one or two and do it really well, period. Right? I have focused in on LinkedIn. I just do not have the capacity to do the others. Yes, I get told you should be on TikTok. You should be on TikTok. Well, actually, my energy is best served on LinkedIn. I have no issues with people to be on one or two platforms, but too many, just from a capacity point of view, can be too much. So I would highly suggest that you choose one or two and that you can show up consistently. And the reason I love LinkedIn for this, by the way, is because unlike Instagram or Facebook or even TikTok, it doesn't penalize you if you're not publishing every day, right? If you, but it ups your visibility if it's consistent. So if you're doing twice a week, it's twice a week. One of my clients, Devon, she publishes twice a week, and she gets huge response from that. But she does twice a week every week, right? And that's the thing: consistency, relevancy of content. And when you're doing that, you want the content, right, to grab attention. You want it to attract the right people. You want it to attract the people that will book you. So again, when you're doing your content strategy as part of your marketing, you really need to say and think, what is the content that I need to put out there to attract those paid speaking gigs? And again, we can guide you on that in the audits we do and things like that. But again, if you've got a team or you're just one of those people, really think about that. That's really, really important. So choose one or two platforms, be consistent, but make sure you're grabbing attention from the right people and make sure they're going to create the outreach to you or demonstrate what you do. Therefore, you're starting to have those conversations as well. So I'm going to pause there. I'm going to give it to Shavinka. What's your question? How can I help you? And thanks for coming on stage to ask a question. Let's hear the question. What is it? Go. Oh, 1 second. I realized something. Wait. Okay, go again. You're very welcome. Yeah. Yep. That is a fab question. So the question was for someone that's new, how do you communicate, or how do you, is it how you get attention from brands? Is that what you want? How do you get booked? Okay. So how you communicate your ideas and how do brands trust you? It's a great question. So it goes back to, believe it or not, what you output there. So what people find about you online is one of the ways they're going to build the trust. So of course, videos demonstrate that, the content demonstrates that, videos of you speaking demonstrates that. It's all about building that reputation, that rapport, which is why the guy I was talking to did 250 speaking gigs without any charge, because he wanted to build up that reputation, that, and get all the assets in place. Same for you. If you're just starting out, and how do you get the trust? Well, first things first, you've got to position yourself in a way that's going to get the attention, and then you've got to market yourself to the right people. Once they've booked you, you've really got to show up and add value. And you've really got to demonstrate that you do know what you're talking about, period. Right? Otherwise, it's a fraud, or you're going to waste their time. They won't book you, and you'll quickly get a reputation. So, in order to do that, you've got to output the relevant content. You've got to display your knowledge, your expertise before they've even booked you, so to speak. And that's what's going to help build the trust, by the way. If you do that, then go, oh, this guy, Shabinka, he really knows what he's talking about. He really understands. Oh, yeah, it's really interesting, his insight. He really gets our problem, right? And this, I know I'm using you, but this is for everybody in the room and everybody watching. If you're able to do that, then you're more likely to get booked, because, if you can't answer one fundamental question for the brands, then they're not going to book you. And really, if you can answer, or you can't convey that you get what keeps their customer up at night, right? Then they're and that content's not demonstrating it, and the videos on, then okay, they might find you interesting. But if you can truly demonstrate that you get their problem, their audience's problem, and you have something that solves that, and through your talks you demonstrate that, now you're onto something. Does that answer your question? Give me a heart if that answers your question. I get a thumbs up. Fantastic. You're welcome to stay on stage with me for a bit. I keep hitting everything around here, and keep me warm, or you can jump down to the audience. It's really up to you. There's a few more points I want to get through, and then we'll wrap this up. So I've got, I don't know, about 5 or 6 more points I want to cover. And let's do this. So if you do have a question as well, please put your hand up, join me on stage. So we've been talking a little bit about marketing. So I talked about, your marketing assets. And I know a lot of you go, well, that's like that with any business. And it is. Speaking is a business. If you want a profitable business, you have to treat it like a business. So your marketing assets are a massive part of you becoming a profitable speaker, right? I think where a lot of people underestimate the importance is the importance of testimonials, right? Testimonials are one of your greatest tools that sell you. It's all very well me saying to everybody in this room and everybody watching and on the replay going, hey guys, I'm so good at speaking. I'm fantastic. I'm a 10 grand speaker. Book me. Right. But nothing will sell me like that than a testimonial. A testimonial that says that and goes, hey, this person was worth every single penny I spent with them. They did this. That sells me far better than anything I say. So testimonials are really important as well, when it comes down to your marketing as well as your sales strategy. All right. I want you to really think about that as well. And of course, as I discuss, content that captures attention as part of your marketing. And again, you don't have to be loud or disruptive or, shout from the top of the buildings. That's not what I'm talking about here. I mean, stuff that grabs the attention by the right audience and the right bookers. Okay. Keep that in mind as well. Right. So those are some of the marketing aspects. Again, if you want these points, I'll send them to you. Just send me a message and I'll copy and send them across to you as well. And let's just talk a little bit about delivery. Right. So we talked about positioning, we talked about marketing. I'm just going to talk about delivery. What's really important, please, 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 you've got it. It's a skill, right? Speaking is a skill, period. If you want to be a great speaker, you need to invest in the skill set of becoming a great speaker. You want to be a great runner, you invest in running, right? It's the same. So it's the whole practice makes perfect, but it's also progress over perfection. And it's also understanding that whatever level we get to, there's something else we can tweak and we can work on, right? Recently I worked only a few weeks ago. I worked with someone. She charges £10,000 a keynote. She came to me. I watched her videos. Like, oh, okay. What feedback can I give her here? Excuse me. And of course, I was able to find because there's always another level to go to, right? Hence, us also doing these audits as well. Equally, I work with people starting up to build that momentum and to practice. So when you do get booked or where you are getting booked and you have a talk, that you're able to deliver. Now, practice makes perfect. Perfect, does that exist? I don't know. But I just want you to understand how important it is that a lot of people get up on stage and they end up reading slides and they end up overloading with information. There's structures. There's different things you can do to magnify you as a speaker. I'm not talking scripts here, by the way. I'm talking about things that make you a better speaker, greater speaker, that allow you to have the impact, that allow you to become profitable. That's what I'm talking about here, right? Also, so that's the whole thing. Please, please, please keep working on your skill set as a public speaker or as a speaker. That will make you more commercial, right? Whether it's with me or someone else, keep honing those skills. The other thing I want you to understand is if you want to be a profitable speaker, then something about your speaking has to offer an experience for the audience. People have plenty of information, right? They have lots of information. So engaging your audience, having a conversation, right, with the audience so they feel that they're part of this is an essential part of this journey, right? Because if you're not engaging the audience, you're not pulling them in through your delivery style, through the questions you ask, through the stories you tell, maybe even these days through the technology you use, then they're just being talked at. And no one likes being talked at, period, right? So I just want you to think about audience engagement and how much you have in it as well. And be adaptable, people. Like, be adaptable. The amount of times I've shown up to gigs and things don't work and slides don't work and technology fails. You've got to be able to adapt your talk to be able to deliver in excellence, but also adapt it for the audience. Like in May, I did the talk in front of lawyers, very different audience, very, very different audience. I had to adapt. Sometimes I had to think on my feet because things that would normally land with an entrepreneurial audience obviously didn't land with a lawyer's audience. And it's being that flexible, that agile, having that agility, that is what's important here for you to kind of be that world-class speaker that is profitable as well, right? And then the last thing I want to say, and then we'll wrap this up, is engagement, right? Talk about engagement during, also engagement post. How can people reach out to you? How can people have a conversation with you? How can people feel that they have access to you? Not in a way that they're taking the mickey or stepping over boundaries, but feel like that there's a conversation to carry on. So I've invited every single one that's been listening. I can send you the notes. I've told you about the audit. I want to carry on these conversations, right? If it's right or wrong, it's up to you. Think about that. When you are doing your talk, what are the ways you can carry on these conversations? Is it a case of you're holding something with going, give me feedback on LinkedIn, and you direct them to that and they all leave you a comment, right? Is it the fact that if they do send you a message, you're going to send them something? Really think about how you continue the conversation beyond. And that's another element of becoming profitable as well. So I'm going to wrap this up and see if there's any questions. We talked about positioning, right? Why that's important. We talked about marketing, how to market yourself, and of course, the delivery aspect. Thanks, Tony. Lovely to see you, my friend. Do you have any questions you want to ask me as we start to wrap up this session? Do you want to add anything you've learned, anything like that? Let me know. Put your hands up. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks when I do another one of these. I will be sending, if you clicked attending, I'll be sending a video of this as well. So look out for the video for it. It might be over the next 2 days. But do you have any questions? If you have any questions, now's the time to put your hand up. Yes, my man. 3 things that anyone who's starting can do today. 1, decide on their positioning, what makes them different. 2, something I didn't cover, so thanks for that, is start building relationships. Start building relationships with people who put events on, people that put conferences. Just say, hey, I'm starting out this journey. I'd love to come and speak for you in a year's time. Start building those conversations. And number 3, whatever your title is on LinkedIn or wherever, put expert speaker in there. Let people know you speak. A lot of us sit there and we wait for this elusive person come knock on our door, go, hey, I want to book you. Let people know that you are a speaker, you're available, and to have that conversation with you, right? So those are 3 things you can do today. Does that help? Give me a thumbs up. Oh, Tony's here. You're welcome. Sorry, I got a bit of cough. Tony, my friend, how are you? You need to unmute yourself. It's okay.
I'm doing a webinar tomorrow dinner time.
Yep.
Where there are currently 12 people booked on. Hopefully, there'll be a few more. What advice would you give to somebody that's doing a 45 minutes to an hour webinar? You've already been talking about keeping the conversation going.
Yeah, keeping conversation. Yep.
This will be my 3rd or 4th webinar.
Mm-hmm.
And at this stage, I haven't been able to continue the conversation moving forwards. So maybe I've not been speaking about it enough. Maybe I've not been giving people value
Yep.
for them to want more. Or maybe they've just not connected with the things I've been saying. So what would you suggest could be a good area to keep that conversation going?
Fantastic question. So you've been doing webinars, but you're not getting the results you want. You don't feel it's kind of landing, and therefore, I guess there's no continual conversation or commerciality, right?
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Several things. Tony, this goes for everybody who does webinars. I would get you to think: are you giving too much? Is there too much information there that's actually overwhelming people? Think about it a bit like this, Tony. You and me, I'm like, hey Tony, I'm gonna take you out to the restaurant, right? I'm gonna buy you a beautiful meal. It's gonna be fantastic. But en route, we stop and go, hey, here's a buffet. Eat as much as you want. So you eat all this food, and then you're not hungry for the meal, right? It's the same. Is your webinar the buffet? Are you filling people up? Therefore, they don't feel their need to do anything else with you. So I want you to think about that. Webinars work really well when there's one thing and it goes deep, right? So that's why I'm wondering if you're just giving too much away. And the other thing is, every second or third point, slide, I would invite them to respond. Even if it's give me a yes in the chat. Are what you taking away so far? Are you still with me? Thumbs up. Keep them having to type or click or do something, because then they're staying engaged. Because otherwise what happens, Tony, is people just sit back, right? Video off. It depends and they just listen. They're in listening mode, which probably also means that they are on WhatsApp and they're doing other stuff. So can you simplify the webinar? Can you drive one thing better? And can you create more engagement? Can you go into breakout rooms so they talk about things and come back? I don't know the structure of your webinar, so I am talking, high picture here. Things like this make all the difference. Inviting people obviously to ask questions and share. And also I would invite the conversation earlier on. I don't know where you place it. So 5-10 minutes in. So here we go. Here's a quiz you can all do. Download it. Let me know the results. Things that, because it is about experience, especially virtually. So the more you can pull them in, the more simple it is for people to follow, the more they're likely to do and actually take action. Does that help, Tony?
That is absolutely tremendous. I wish I'd recorded it.
Well, actually, I've recorded it, so I'll send you the link as soon as I have it. Yeah.
That's brilliant. I'll put it to the test tomorrow and see how we get on with
Yeah, let me know. I mean, these things take time to find and tweak, but good luck. Let me know how you get on with it. Yeah.
We will do, Elliot. Thank you very much.
My friend. No problem. Right, people. Thank you very much for joining me. Again, if you want the notes I've got, send me a message. If there's any way I can help, if you want to do one of my audits, it's in the comments, or you want to find out more, I'd love to support you. Remember, every 2 weeks I do this, so keep an eye for the next one. Have yourself a lovely, lovely rest of the day. I'm going to go take my daughter swimming. I look forward to seeing you all soon again. Be out there, be seen, be heard, and always be more giraffe. Take care, people. Bye now.